welcome back to the Northeast Florida Surf Fishing Forecast. This video is taken Thursday afternoon next to the Jack's Beach Pier, and as you can see, the water cleaned up nicely. Now, we don't know how much longer that's going to hold because the wind forecast does not look very favorable for the next few days, but we'll take the clean water while we have it. Some decent surf as well, but the water, 8 out of 10. There was even another clear line further out past the end of the pier with the green water. So, plenty of sand fleas around, mullets showing up in the surf, clean water. Get out there and fish before the weekend. Friday looks to be the day before the south winds return again, guys. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about a few other things to help you catch more fish. So like we were saying, guys, water is clean right now in Jack's Beach and Ponte Vedra area for the Northeast Florida section. Little Talbot should be fairly clean. I heard about a 6 out of 10. Got a report that there was a lot of catfish being caught at Little Talbot though, so hey, that's how it is. Those catfish schools move around, and if you get in one, you better move. But that's going to change. Friday, they're calling for east-southeast, switching over more to the southeast, 10 to 15. And for both Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at like west winds in the morning, guys, switching over to the south-southeast, 10 to 20. And like we always say, south wind brings the dirty water. Water temperatures right now, from Flagler to Fernandina, all in the 79 to 81 degree water temperature range. That's a good temperature. For the most part, there's still a few pompano around, but they have really shifted north, as in North Carolina. I'm still getting a lot of good reports out of the North Carolina area. But just this last few days since our report on Tuesday, the Tuesday report, trout, flounder, drum, redfish, Spanish, blues, tons of spots, croakers, and medium-sized whiting are all coming up. Right now they're hitting the fresh shrimp, sand fleas, live shrimp, lures, the trout and the flounder hitting lures and the live shrimp. Finger mullet are working as well. They're actually starting to show up in the surf. Tons of glass minnows right now up and down the beach as well, guys. So whenever you see glass minnows in the surf, if you can find, doesn't matter, you don't need structure. If you see tons of glass minnows in shallow, there's gonna be fish following them. And just watch for, especially early in the morning, those glass minnows get in real shallow and you'll just see explosions in the water. They're usually redfish, speckled trout, or bluefish, and Spanish mackerel. On Wednesday afternoon, I was checking out the beach and I actually saw there's a school of pogies in Jack's Beach that was getting crushed. I saw tarpon in it. I saw a king skyrocket in the school and Spanish jumping all around the school of pogies. So right now is a good time if you have a kayak to get out there, weather permitting and wave permitting. Don't go out there if it's ungodly rough for a kayak, but the fish are there. There's lures you can use. If you don't have them, go to Strike Zone and ask Archie what he would use to catch a king from a kayak using a lure. But if not, you either want to have a sabiki rig, catch some pilchards or greenies, they work. Spots, croakers, and whiting, they work. When the pier is open, a majority of the kingfish were caught on spots, croakers, whiting, and bluefish. Those 4 fish. Pogies did work, but those other 4 fish would probably counted for about 90% of the kings that were caught. If you got a good pogie school, don't go in the middle of it with your kayak. That'd be the wrong place to go. Stick off to the outside, because a lot of times as those schools of pogies are coming down the beach, those fish are circling on the outside of the school and cutting through. So if you can pitch that bait on the outside of that school where it's all by itself, guess what? That makes it an easy target, guys. The tarpon, kings, big jacks, and kudas are all in there right now, as well as sharks. So if you're going to take a kayak out there, make sure you have plenty of leaders and a quick way to cut that hook out, especially if it's a shark. You're going to try to get as much line as you can in. I don't ever advise just cutting the line, because you don't need more line out there tangling up fish and killing fish. So if you can get the shark or whatever as close as you can to the kayak, and then snip it off if you have to, if you can't get the hook out, Cut it as close to the mouth as you can, guys. I'm no kayak expert, but that's what I've been told is the best way to do it. We'll try to get some more information on that so you guys who have kayaks want to do it and get out there and catch a king. It'd be great. You can also catch them from the beach, mainly the tarpon, I would say. First thing in the morning, those tarpon are cruising the surf, so get a big topwater or a big spoon, or you can if you can get a good spot, croaker or pogie, to free line it. Just be aware you're going to need the proper gear. Again, go to Strike Zone, ask them what they would use to fish for tarpon from the surf. You need to have the right gear, because if you don't have the right gear and you hook up on the tarpon, what you're going to do is you are going to burn the drag system in whatever reel you're using that's too small, and then that reel will be toast. And then you'll wish you to just spot the right reel to begin with. Other than that, plenty of fish out there. Like I said, tons of spots and croakers. Fish are there, plenty of sand fleas. So bring your sand flea rake, bring a cast net to the beach. You can throw out, if you can catch some mullet, throw them out in the surf. The reds, trout, and flounder will eat them. The rocks at Volano early morning will hold tarpon, guys. Same as Huguenot and Amelia. Anywhere there's a little bit of rocks to break up the monotony of the surf, you know, it attracts bait fish. And once you have the bait fish, the bigger fish come along. But this weekend, there is a rain chance, so keep your eyes to the sky. Don't play in the lightning. We got Father's Day coming up. I know it's a late notice, but if you are looking for a gift for Dad, check out the Sinker Guy website. He has a great surf fishing bundle for Father's Day. Check him out. It's got a lot of good stuff. It's a good starter kit, but it's everything you need, even if you're not a beginner. And it's a good price deal. Well worth its money. The Sinker Guy. Look him up. You won't be disappointed. Those are the only weights I use now. The Sputniks he makes for the surf. They hold phenomenal. I fished in 4 to 6 foot surf with them, and they held. Whereas before, the Sputniks that they used to make, that they still sell, not so much. They just roll down the beach. Other than that, that's about all I got, guys. Next week, we're going to incorporate some pier reports. We're going to start down in Flagler, say Daytona, wherever there's a pier in this east central and up to Jacksonville. We're going to try to get a report twice a week. I do know if you're down in the Flagler area, kingfish are there. They're catching them off the end of the pier. So if you know it, you want to go catch a king, go to Flagler, go off the end. There's a few videos out there on how they rig up on Flagler Pier. So before you go, if you don't know what to bring, you need to look it up. It's important to have the right tackle. You don't want to go out there underprepared, because they may not have the right thing that you need at the bait shop. So with that being said, all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And one more thing, I almost forgot. Mark asked a question about how I prepare my shrimp and how long I soak them in Diet Pepsi. So Mark, usually I do not buy dead bait unless I know it's come straight off the shrimp boats or it's been cleaned out of the fish tank or the shrimp tanks fairly recent. When you're looking to buy dead shrimp, there should be no black on it. If it's already turning orange in the head, that means it's already decomposing. So the older the shrimp, it's not as firm. So I always buy 3 to 4 dozen live. I just tell them, hey, put them in a Ziploc bag. Seal it, throw it in a cooler. I put the Diet Pepsi. Now this is just me, what I've done for a long time. About 30 to 45 minutes before I start fishing, I have a little bucket, put the shrimp in there and pour the Diet Pepsi. Now, I have had instances where I soaked it overnight, and what it actually did, if you know anything about like the Pepsi and the Coke, they use it to clean off blood and clean money. So it's highly corrosive. So if you soak your shrimp too long in that, it's going to actually cause that shrimp to be a little bit softer. So I soak it 30 to 45 minutes, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Something funny about the Diet Pepsi, I haven't told this story yet, but in February when I was on the whiting pretty good in Ponte Vedra using Diet Pepsi shrimp, I ran out of shrimp. All right. And so I had fish bites. I think it was the green flea flavor. Well, they didn't want flea flavor that day, so I was catching whiting 2 at a time on the 2-hook rigs. Put the fish bites out there, threw it out there. For 10 minutes, I didn't have a bite. I didn't have the right flavor fish bite. I needed the shrimp because that's what they wanted. Reel it back in, and I said, let me try something. I soaked 1 strip of the fish bite flea flavor in Diet Pepsi for about 5 minutes. Cut it into the strips. Threw it back out on the sandbar. Bam. 2 more whiting. I ended up catching about 10 more whiting in 15 minutes and then took off. So if you don't believe the Diet Pepsi works, it definitely does. I don't know what other way to put it, because when I first started using it, I didn't believe it myself. So I would have regular shrimp and Diet Pepsi shrimp. And the Diet Pepsi shrimp was out fishing the regular shrimp. And I will say this, if you don't know it, for the most part, you really don't need to soak it in Diet Pepsi in the summer. I only do it when the water is around 62 to 57. That's what I've seen in the pier logs when we talk about the Diet Pepsi in there. Because one, the whiting are there pretty much year round, okay? So when it warms up, you still got whiting there, but what's the problem? You got tons of croakers, spots, catfish, little pompano. So now they're all competing for that 1 piece of shrimp. And for the most part, the smaller fish always get to the bait first, okay? So in the winter, a lot of the spots and croakers, they get out. They don't like that cold water. They move on to the small pompano are not there. So the whiting are still there, but when it's cold, if you know anything, when you know about fish, the colder the water is, the less they have to eat, right? So they're not always going to be hungry. Well, you put that Diet Pepsi, whatever it does, it's an attractant and they love it. And all January and February, I was filling coolers full every time I went. I got pictures, got videos, proofs in the pudding, guys. I wouldn't use it if I don't use what I don't think works. So just keep that in mind. You really don't need the Diet Pepsi in the summer. Cooler temps. This winter we'll go live and show how great the Diet Pepsi works. That's all I got. Check out Chip's video, the Sinker Guy. He has a good video on Diet Pepsi as well. If you're using it in the summer, I'm telling you, you'll be disappointed because it probably won't give you the results that you think it's going to give you. It's a cold water trick. It brings those fish that are real sluggish, and they get hungry. My buddy Matt, him and his buddy, I showed him what I was doing. They went down to the beach the very next day. I think I had like 40, 45 whiting in 2 hours. I said, Matt, you need to put the Diet Pepsi on the shrimp. Him and 2 buddies, they went the next day, 105 whiting, 3 of them. It works. But that's all I got. That's the little trick. I hope that answers your question, Mark. If not, send me a message and I'll answer it better if I can. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and send me some reports. Let's get some fish up there on the video. And if you got any tips or tricks that you'd like to share and I'll put it on the video, let me know and you'll get credit. I will never take credit for anything I didn't come up with. Until next time, tight lines.